Here we go. It's been a beautiful day of Battle Aces as PaPi is going to be spicy here. Look at this, Warty. One base stack. It's a blink opening. Destroyers, King Crab. As Benny is playing Scorpions and he's got King Crabs and Destroyers as well. So here we go.
Here we go. Been here before. It's interesting to kind of go for the aggression with the blink. And I love this. They're both just streaming on their own side of the map from one side to the other. I mean, DeMu's just going to come in, and I feel like he almost got a shock where he's like, there's no base. He turned around for a second, and no, he is now going to go jump onto some of the blinks on the other side. PaPi lets the blink die as he's, I guess, busy back at home. And DeMu starts up the tech of his own, and that's what this is all about. Getting that tech going ASAP once you've expanded, and just trying to hold on to get your own tech units out.
Yep, every single Blinky boy is incredibly important, obviously. As they are expensive, and with a one base economy, you really don't have that much income. I bet Ben is a bit confused by what on earth is he throwing. So instead, I feel like PaPi just wants to do the same thing as Vibe did, right? I don't think PaPi thinks he's going to beat Ben here. Ben as in DeMu, as DeMu is obviously always going to be able to live. But if PaPi can just take out the base and take the game from there, he's probably happy. Ben is trying to buy some time with the Scorpions, but this is risky.
Oh, yeah, well, I mean, anytime those King Crabs turn around for half a second, that's a win, right? Like, any little bit of time you buy, but yeah, I think at the very least this base dies, and PaPi will know that he can get that. Ben makes a few more Scorpions. He's going to try and threaten the attack onto this, but yeah, PaPi's not going to fall.
Already expanding, by the way.
Yep, correct move. So now he's just going to get an expansion up, and DeMu can make a couple units, but he actually just needs to instantly re-expand as well.
Yep, so this is a bit similar to what we just had between Vibe and Theory. Obviously slightly different units, as Vibe did not have the blink guys. But what I would have loved to see from Vibe was, instead of that second wave where he donated everything into the main, maybe try to see if he can play 2 base tier 3 heavy ballista. And I wonder if PaPi is going to go down that route.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Obviously, both players currently have access to the same tech units. It's a question of who can get more. I do think the blinks trade a little bit better against those Scorpions, of course, and they can pretty much do this where you kite across the map, so more value to be had there. DeMu is going to lose a King Crab.
Yeah, but he got a couple good hits off there, though. I feel like that wasn't even that bad.
A couple of the Destroyers obviously going to be massive against the King Crabs as well as we try and push down the left-hand side. So moving down, obviously the Destroyers are going to try and stay out of reach of any trouble and then get involved on the King Crabs only, as we do see Destroyers putting the work in, but DeMu just does not have as many King Crabs as his opponent. The blink on top of the Destroyers is great, and that enables the King Crabs to continue fighting here, and that is going to be PaPi winning out this fight and now chasing down. And definitely coming out in a better situation as 2 bases are up on both sides of the map.
Yeah, I'm surprised that DeMu went for that fight there. I feel like he went in really deep, but it was 2 base against 2 base. They have the exact same tier 2 units available, as now there's a couple of Destroyers in the mix as well. Nice blink there by PaPi. It just felt that the blink guys were always going to reign supreme there, because you can blink forward and get on top of these Destroyers. And PaPi didn't even take the best fight there, eh? Because he blinked forward and he got a Destroyer down to 10 HP, but he wasn't quite able to kill it, and he still, in the end, won pretty convincingly. Because the numbers were just too even. The units were too even, the numbers were too even. Then I think Defender's advantage reigns supreme. Ben now in a tiny bit of trouble. DeMu that is he's trying to go for a run by. That means that these units are kind of stuck. These are not run bys you can make too often, because the blinks guys are so mobile.
Yup, and this is going to be seeing that blink's coming about. A couple of King Crab, he's going to turn back around. He's going to be seeing game going to get called, and that is PaPi taking the 1-0 lead. I love his composition against what Ben has, though, right? Like, I feel like the blinks are so good against King Crabs and Destroyers and against Scorpions. I wonder if DeMu goes for any changes now.
I think there is just slightly more potential there in the army of PaPi than there is in the army of DeMu. However, DeMu did not have to commit to that fight. Like, sure, PaPi killed his expand and then expanded a little bit quicker, but do those few seconds quicker expand means that now DeMu is just out of options, and he needs to fight next to the immediate reinforcements of his opponent on the other side of the map. Like, I don't think it was quite that drastic. So maybe yeah, we'll see. I mean, DeMu is very comfortable with the recallers as well, so there's a good chance he's just gonna switch it up altogether. But strong first game by PaPi, but I also felt that DeMu handed that one to him a little bit.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens going into game 2. We'll see if there's any significant deck changes or anything like that. And obviously, do you think PaPi can get away with 1 base and straight away again? I feel like that's the sort of thing that you adapt to, but it was a pretty smooth process to kind of net him an advantage, and he's just going to send it.
He is going to do it once more, as DeMu has not switched things up, so we are again looking at Scorpions. Yeah, it does seem that you get a guaranteed kill on the expand. maybe DeMu is just okay with that, and he feels that he can get a favorable trade elsewhere. And yeah, maybe he will just look back at that previous game and says, man, I threw it when I attacked the natural of my opponent, when the armies were incredibly even. And if anything, you've got defender's advantage, and you've got the micro advantage with the blinkers. Yeah, maybe that's where Ben just felt it went wrong.
Yep. Well, we're going to see the blinks. A couple of them heading up that right side. The Scorpion's already been quite aggressive here, trying to push on forward. Just going to see our blinks firing, and we're going to see a couple of those Scorps already honestly in trouble. I feel like this is the sort of fight which blinks really do not mind taking, because they can just get that distance, you build a few more, and the numbers so quickly escalate in your favor as the blink player.
Yep. I don't really understand this. I mean, DeMu is going to go for 2 base air, and he will have Falcons, he will have Mammoths, so it's very strong tier 2 Starforge, but that was not a good trade at all. It lost a lot of Scorpions. And if you're playing against the 1 base opening of your opponent, and obviously if it's air, this time PaPi might just go for the main, right? What's stopping him? He doesn't have to worry about those destroyers popping out and one-shotting his king crabs.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, I guess maybe you're worried about the Falcons having a similar effect, but we're just going to go play it safe and get the natural initially.
I think you keep going here. I actually think you absolutely keep going here. Yep, and PaPi seems to agree. DeMu is just in so much trouble here. He is in all sorts of trouble. He's about to lose so many workers in his main base, if not all of them, before those Falcons even really come out. I'm afraid this is game-ending damage.
You just can't. You got no economy. Gonna have 6 workers left. It's not exactly ideal, and that's game. PaPi 2-0.
Wow, that's definitely, I think, surprising, right? Because people have seen DeMu streaming this game. DeMu was, I think, the 5th highest ranked player on the leaderboards. Has looked damn good. Maybe he didn't get the patch notes memo that Scorpions have lost a bit of their HP, because I think especially that Scorpion donation in the main. Perhaps DeMu is just very unfamiliar with playing against 1 base stack openings. This is another DeMu that I've seen streaming this game over the last few days, and yeah, strong performance so far by PaPi, our Polish player. And DeMu, we know that he can step it up, but he's absolutely going to have to step it up.
Yeah, gotta switch it up right now and figure out what he's gonna do about these 1 bases. What if he just 1 base techs himself? Like, if he waits like a second, sees the 1 base, boom, 1 bases himself.
I mean, I would love to see recallers, because I think Ben is incredibly good with recall. But I also believe there is potential for him to play a very similar style to PaPi here with Scorpions. But yeah, I do think Blink against Scorpions is maybe a slightly favorable matchup for the Blinkers. But
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but I don't think that's where it went wrong, right? It wasn't like, oh, Ben had Scorpions and he couldn't do anything. Like, he was donating Scorpions against a 1 base Blink opening. That's kind of wild.
Yeah, no, the start of this game was not it. It's plain and simple what it comes down to.
Wow, what?
now Ben goes, has his Blink, and he's gonna go his own 1 base against recallers.
So he goes Blink, King Crab, 1 base. I mean, I believe in the power of the recallers here. That's what I was basically saying in the previous series in 5 Theory. I really think if you just build pure recall here for a while, you can go 2 base air and then just spam recallers for as long as you can. I like this for PaPi, and I'm starting to get very, very worried here for DeMu, who is playing these games from a land somewhere in Norway, I believe. Maybe he's in Hamar. Yep. I don't know where he is. But I don't like where this is going for DeMu at all.
Nope, I feel like now he's almost like, I see what you're doing, I'm going to do that too, but I feel like PaPi's answer to it is already looking better.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see how it pans out, as Blinks would love to get a few free shots off on the recalls, if possible.
I mean, PaPi has just gone for 2 base Foundry, obviously totally fine, as he's going to be able to build destroyers. If Ben just settles for taking out that natural and then obviously he goes home and expands himself, then it's alright. If he tries to get more than that, he is in so much trouble.
Yep. Yeah, it needs to be this hit the natural, break that down, then go from there. I love these recalls kind of coming forward and getting a few shots off, but they actually did take a few hits as well. And see what they can do is they got to be careful, because the Blink obviously can close the distance very easily. King Crabs are going to try and threaten them as well. We get rid of 1 King Crab, going to Blink forward to protect the 2nd King Crab, and a lot of recall is going down. And this is going to be a good fight. We're going to get rid of a lot of recalls. Obviously, we're saving up money as PaPi. His own tech is about to come online. What's he going to build? He's got to be careful. It's going to be a mortar, instantly sieges. The Blinks get away. Obviously, the base goes down. DeMu has himself a natural on the way up. The problem is PaPi can't really re-expand super quickly, because he's got to get a mortar over there. And yeah, I actually think this was overall decent for DeMu. He gets out with a lot of his units.
Hear me out. If you would have been PaPi here and you would have just expanded, but then only spam recall, do you think you'd be in trouble? Like, don't tech?
No, because you saw how close he was to knocking down King. He was already knocking down King Crabs with the recalls he had, right?
Yeah.
So I actually think if he just has pure recalls, maybe recalls can just hold this by like. You got to get rid of the King Crabs, right? But I actually think he would have been okay. What do you think if he just doesn't tech at all, or like?
Yeah, like as long as you see your opponent is only teching on one base and doesn't have an expand, that you don't have to tech yet. And you just wait and you spend all your money on recallers.
Yeah, no, I actually think it could be. It'd be very interesting to figure out. This one base meta is going to be fascinating to see. I like DeMu instantly third base as well. Recognizes he can just keep on expanding. He has map control right now. He is not wrong. What he does need to stop is these mortars getting across the map. I do not love anything that DeMu has against the mortars, really.
No, but I think if you have enough Blink, enough King Crabbies, I think you can get a top of them. And the problem with your King Crabbies is that they just melt against the destroyers, right? And if it's just Blink, yeah, then they could actually get absolutely blasted by the mortars. This is not going to be that easy. Oh, that's a forward Blink. I hope for Ben that's the correct call, but I don't know if that's the correct call. He only gets like one?
But one, yeah.
That's not enough, Rotti. That is not enough.
No, that was not at all. He's trying to go into the air tech, by the way. Falcons and Mammoth's going to be unlocked. The Mammoths we've seen have been amazing against the mortars, but... well, this is going to be a dead base, but counter-attack with some blinks right now. Ben is just trying to save up, I guess, for the Mammoths, right? There's a couple of mortars trying to siege. We're actually pretty undefended in some of these locations. We're starting to build Blink Hunters as PaPi because he realizes there is a threat of Falcons, even if Mammoths are the likely outcome.
Oh, no.
You gotta kind of respect that as we blink on this mortar again, but the other mortar is back there, and... we're gonna recall to just guarantee this defense in the end.
Blink.
Interesting game.
Blink Hunter. Overall, I like it for PaPi. I mean, 81 supply against 47. What is Ben spending his money on? He's going to go for a lot of Falcons. I mean, the power of the Falcon has been very well discussed, right? Everywhere you go, people talk about how strong Falcons are against Tier 1 NTR. But there is a point where you just have enough Tier 1 NTR that even Falcons won't cut it. And Ben has not re-expanded. The DeMu is just full going for it. He's going to try to either deal devastating damage or straight up win the game with 2-base Falcon. And I don't think it's going to happen. I think there is already enough NTR on the side of PaPi.
The thing is, as well, is that these Falcons are supported by the Blinks, right? So I don't feel like the Blinks are going to stop the Blink Hunters from getting on top of the Falcons like some of the other situations are.
Yeah, like Scorpions on the ground and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So I just don't feel like you have that stopping power that you might be looking for. And I was just going to go for another Falcon here. Important that we target fire them. You do not want to just spread your damage too much against these. I mean, they're still doing okay. There's more coming across the map. I mean, this is just a question mark, right? Can we get enough anti-air up?
They might actually have done perfectly fine, because Ben has temporarily taken out all the workers at the third base. So even if it's 3 base against 2, it's 2 base eco against 2 base eco. And if it's 2 base eco against 2 base eco, that's when Tier 1 NTR really struggles in dealing with Falcons. But it did seem that PaPi took a great fight on the left side. But obviously he had to donate a bunch of units in the center of the map as well to distract DeMu. Now he's got that 3 base advantage. DeMu down 0-2 in the series. Can the Falcons carry, or is there just too much NTR at this point?
I think we lost too many Falcons. If these Falcons team up with the other Falcons, it's super scary now. Not quite so much. As first mortar shot is scary there as well. And again, as PaPi, you can just sit back. You do not have to rush into this. You can just take it easy because you know your opponent is working on less economy. Now your third base economy is here as well, so you are just building that many more Blink Hunters every single second. I like the Falcons' positioning. They're in the right place to try and get something done here. Try and deny some of the workers, trying to even up the economy a little bit, but yeah, there's all the Blink Hunters, and as they blink in, they are just in such good range to one-shot.
Well, I do like a couple of Mammoths, by the way, on the ground by Ben, as he does lead the charge with the Blink. Maybe we could have waited just a couple of seconds, right, for those Mammoths to absorb 1 or 2 of the shots of the mortars. Another forward Blink by all those Blink Hunters, as PaPi realizes that he's got a DeMu right where he wants him. Nice turnaround here by DeMu, as he once more takes out almost all the workers. He's even going to get a couple of these mortars in the center, and this is where it maybe becomes harder to blink forward for these Blink Hunters. Is it still DeMu?
We're going to find out as we just go blinking in. The Falcons are getting killed pretty quickly. We do have some destroyers here. They're going to be great against the Mammoths, as we talked about earlier. And that is going to be a good defense in the end from PaPi. Good moves from DeMu. I feel like he moved his army around in the right way to give himself a chance. And to make that as scary as possible, just wasn't enough.
Yeah. Looked promising there for a split second with the Mammoths coming up. But yeah, those Mammoths, even though they're mega tanky, they just don't really take out the Blink Hunters that quickly. That means that PaPi has taken a 3-0 lead over DeMu. I would say out of all the results today, that's the most surprising one so far for me, Rotti. I did absolutely not expect that. But it's a best of 7. And DeMu perhaps does his best work when he's down. The man has a crazy amount of experience in WarCraft 3, in StarCraft 2, in Age of Empires. He's been around the block. He's been there, he's done that. We know that he's got the skills to potentially turn this around. And what a showing so far by PaPi. Very, very impressive.
Yeah, just really showing some good understanding, good mix-up as well. Obviously went from 1 base into then 2 base and able to kind of make it work for himself. It's been a cool series as we get ready for game number 4, and we'll see if there's any major changes that can perhaps swing this in DeMu's favor as well. Maybe he feels like he has to resort to a deck change. Let's see what we get as we will expand versus 1 base tech again. PaPi is back at it with the blinks.
And DeMu goes back to the Scorpions. I am so shocked not to see Ben play Recallers today, because I feel like that's what he looked amazing with on his own stream, and I felt that's how he climbed the ladder and he got himself way up on that leaderboard. But not a single recall game coming out of DeMu today. Yeah, this is probably going to be very similar, right, where PaPi takes out the expand and then goes home and expands himself.
Yeah, I feel like that's almost always netting you an advantage. Ben does go Crusaders instead of King Crabs, so it's a little bit of a change there. Crusaders are very tanky, but against Destroyers, I'm not sure they're necessarily going to live that long.
No. I don't like these fights either when it's... Why are we attacking with Scorpions on the other side of the map against the unit that has the most early game micro? It feels that Ben is just still living in the era of I can build as many Scorpions as I want and they never die. But Scorpions did get nerfed a little bit. That patch went live and Scorpions still good obviously, but we can't be that reckless with them. I think DeMu is in trouble, Rotti, but let's see how this early game plays out. I do like the early addition of some range units, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. I mean, look at all those King Krabbies storming to the other side of the map.
Yeah, can these Blink Hunters, they just don't do that much against the King Crabs. It takes so many shots. Honestly, I think our Blinks want to try and get involved in this as well. It's an interesting question mark though, right? What do you go for? Do you guarantee the base kill? Or do you chase down that army still?
Ben has not tagged, by the way. So Ben's idea was basically what we were discussing earlier. Just spend all your money on tier 1 units. And we were talking about it when it came to recallers. Well, this may have not been that bad, to be fair, right? We have a lot of Scorpions left over. We have a lot of Blink Hunters, even though there is no air to worry about. But at least those are units that can blink. They have some micro potential. And it's not like PaPi's expand is now a whole lot quicker than the expand of DeMu. But DeMu does need to attack in the near future. And he attacks now and he goes Crusader Destroyer.
I was going to say that's the one thing, right? It's like the one thing that I guess DeMu has is that he's got the power of an army coming across the map right now. And can he trade here as a couple King Crabs come up? We're going to go blinking forwards. The King Crabs are going to come around, get blocked by their own Blinks, though. The problem is it's Blink Hunters versus Blinks, and obviously Blink Hunters are made as anti-air units in mind, not necessarily to fight ground on ground, and that's where they're just going to get outmatched a little bit. So the numbers advantage didn't matter there, and now PaPi's had a faster base, and he's going to end up with a... I guess not too much of a faster base, but he is going to end up with attacks already online, couple King Crabs already out, and equal money in the bank, more or less. So
I like the idea of Ben of trying to defend the 1 base opening like that, where yes, you expand, but you don't blindly tech, so you have a few extra units to work with. Yeah, he's working basically with anti-air units, and anti-air units trying to take care of the Blink and the King Crabs. This is difficult.
Yeah, well, there's going to be the heavy ballistas on the way. They're about halfway ready to be built, so that's going to be PaPi's choice to go further tech rather than expanding. Obviously, we see DeMu on that expansion now in the front, so that's going to be where he has to try and find a defense. So we'll see if that's going to be good enough with some Crusader Destroyer action as well.
I just feel
like he's pushing right now.
DeMu doesn't really have real damage in his army. Like if a bunch of heavy ballistas come out, it just feels like they're going to be amazing against everything. And sure, Crusaders are tanky. Just you don't win a fight just by having a lot of tanky stuff.
Yep. Agree on that one, as we do see, obviously PaPi is aware of where this army is. First heavy ballistas are rolling out. There's a couple of destroyers mixed in there as well, because he wants to make sure he can get rid of the frontline tankiness of those Crusaders. As the destroyer fight is going to be a big part of this. Yeah, me neither. And also the Blinks could actually just get rid of that destroyer right here before it can really do anything at all. It does just about get away. Heavy ballistas again going to be very big in this. 3 of them are ready to go. The first Crusader gets absolutely melted. We're now going to blink in after. That's a Destroyer, that's a Crusader, and PaPi on the chase with a 30 supply lead.
PaPi has played a stunning best of 7. I would say the biggest surprise of the day, Wardy. I kind of thought this was going to be competitive, but I still favored DeMu a little coming into it. But it is the man from Poland who said goodbye to his Zealots and his Blink Stalkers and said hello to his new Blinky friends here as he has stacked up to tier 3 with heavy ballistas, and DeMu's army can't cut it here. GG gets called. At least I imagine so, because Ben is a gentleman and he always GGs. And our final best of 7 comes to an end, and it's PaPi 4-0 DeMu.